Okay, before starting this, I want to give you the hint that this video is long, so sorry, but I had to, okay? Please pay attention.
I will not be writing anything on the board. I have some papers here. So I will be explaining the different verbs. There's a lot about the verbs, but I'm going to make it a little bit simpler and easier for you guys. So I'm not going to be given all the types of verb and the rules and all the stuff because it can be a lot. And if we go with the verb as like studying the verbs, we will never end. Okay, so I will be here in this presentation. I will be giving the definition and the types of verb we have, and I will be giving some examples, and then we will be going to the verb tense. That's another topic, another thing that goes with it, but I'm not going to try to mess it up. Maybe I do, but I don't want to. Okay, so we're going to be starting easier in this part. So if you see me looking in another angle, is because I have here my laptop and I'm reading the definition because I'm the English teacher, but this is a lot, and I don't want you to confuse you or to mess it up. So I want to be legit, and I want to be precise and correct. So I have here some examples, and I will explain it to you a way that you can understand it and it can be easier. So if you have any questions, it can be a little bit easier for you to get it when I explain it. Okay, so we have verbs. The definition of verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence and forming the main part of the predicate of the sentence. Okay, so here we have, let me just cover up the other part. Okay, we have the verb, and the sentence is she ironed her dress. Okay, we are going to ask, in this case, the subject here, she, that is a pronoun. We're going to ask, what is she doing? So that will give you the answer, iron. That's the verb, because she's iron her dress. The action is iron. Okay. So, and now we're going to the types of verb. Let me just get this clear. Okay, you will have the type of verbs, and those type of verbs will have definitions because you need to know what each one of those type of verbs do. But the main definition for verbs is the one that I already discussed. Okay, so don't mix it up. Okay, the first definition that I gave you, and that is going to be in the presentation, that is like, if we can say, a general definition for verbs, but then when you go to the different types, those different types will have a definition. So don't get confused with one and another. Okay, so if I ask you what is a verb, the definition that you should give me is the first one and the one that I already read. Okay, now we're going to the type of verbs. We have the main verb or action verb. Okay, the main verb or action verb are used to express action, something that an animal, a person, or a thing does. Okay, So here we have in the main verb or action verb, we have here the monkey jumps. So we are going to ask the subject, that is the monkey, what is doing. What is doing the monkey? The monkey jumps. That is your action or main verb, okay? Remember, if you know what is a subject, you will always ask the subject what is doing, and that will be your verb, okay? Okay, now we're going to the other one. We have helping verbs. Helping verbs or support, helping verbs help or support the main verb, okay? So if you have this sentence that I'm going to give you right now, you will need this helping verb, because if you don't have it, the sentence is not going to make sense. It's not going to be complete. It's going to be some way it's going to feel incorrect, and it will not be a correct or grammatically written sentence. So here, you should complete the work by tomorrow. So we ask the subject, in this case we have a pronoun, and it's you. We are asking what you are doing. So it's supposed to complete a work by tomorrow, but if I say you complete the work by tomorrow, it's not going to make sense. So that's why we recur to our helping verbs, that in this case we have should complete. So we identify our helping verb, that is should, and we identify our verb, main verb, action verb, that is complete. So what you should do? Well, you should complete the work by tomorrow. That's why this is a helping verb, okay? I know it can be a little bit tricky, believe me, it is. But if you pay attention, and if you have any questions and ask, it can get a little bit easier, okay? Because maybe when I explain to you in other ways, or using another words, or giving you another sample, you can get it a little bit better, okay? So we have the state of being verb, the linking verb, okay? The linking verb explain a link between the subject of the sentence and a noun or adjective being linked to it, okay? So I would like to describe it as a bridge between the subject and the adjective, in this case in the adjective, because it feels is making that connection. If you don't have that linking verb, you can make that work, but if it seems like you are learning the language, it's not going to make a lot of sense, okay? In this one I have an adjective, okay? So we have linking verb, and we have I feel scared. We have our pronoun that is working as a subject, and we have our adjective, okay? And then the link between those two is feel. It's a feeling that you have. That's why it's a linking word. It's connecting between the subject and the adjective. So that's why I'm saying that this is like a bridge, okay? Because this is the bridge that is connecting the subject and the adjective, okay? So I feel scared. You can say I scared, but it's not correct, and it doesn't make the purpose that you want to make, because people would ask you what, and then you're going to be able to use the correct verb, in this case the linking verb, that is feel. It's a feeling that you're having, okay? So that's why it's a linking verb. It's making the connection between the subject and, in this case, the adjective, okay? So now we have some rules. I didn't write them here, but I want you to see it because it's going to help you a lot. Okay, when we use is for a singular noun or pronoun, okay? So the singular pronoun that we have is he, she, it, okay? So in this case, I'm going to use a noun. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. You see that I'm using is to connect between that noun and the rest of the sentence. That will be your verb, because it's not an action, but it's the main verb, okay? And then we have she is writing, okay? So she is singular, and you have the is to connect that verb with the subject, okay? Then we have another ones, but I want that to explain it to you when I see you. Okay, then we have two types of action verbs. We have the transitive verb and the intransitive verb. This can be a little bit tricky, so please pay attention. Okay, so a transitive verb expresses in action direct towards a person, place, or thing. The action expressed by a transitive verb passes from the doer or the subject to the receiver of the actions. Words that receive the action of a transitive verb are called objects, okay? So I'm going to give you a sentence. You can say that this can be a direct command between the verb and the object, and what you want. In this case, it can be like that, okay? So we have in the transitive verb, we have please bring coffee. Here we have, this is a direct command that is not referring to anyone. It can be referred to a student, to you don't know to who is referring in the sentence, and you don't know who is going to give you the coffee or who you want to give you the coffee. But if you want to give a subject, you can say someone please bring the coffee, and then you will have there the imaginary subject and the verb and the object, okay? So please bring coffee. It's a direct command. When you want when you are having a transitive verb, it's basically that is a direct command, but you need the verb and you need a direct object. If you don't have the direct object, it's not going to be a transitive verb. It's going to be an intransitive verb. And that's the difference between transitive and intransitive. I will tell you the definition from intransitive verb. But when you have a transitive verb, you need an object. It doesn't matter what, you need an object. I have here another sentence, another sample. Okay, so we have the teacher made the question paper. So you are going to ask the teacher what she made. the question paper. That's your direct object. So the verb is made and the object is the question paper. That's when you know that you have a transitive verb. In this other sample that I'm going to give you is Peter cut the cake. So you're going to ask, what Peter cut the cake? If you don't have that direct object, it's not going to be a transitive verb, so it's not going to make sense for you. It loses. So you need, to be intransitive verb, you need to ask what you did, and the object, it has to be there. If you don't have the object, it's not a direct, it's not a transitive verb, sorry. Okay, so now we're going with intransitive verbs. And a verb which does not need an object to make complete sense is called intransitive verb. An intransitive verb expresses action or tells something about the subject without the action passing to a receiver or object. It can stand alone in the predicate because its meaning is complete. Okay, it doesn't need an object to make sense. We have here, the wicked hunter was hiding. It's an intransitive verb because you don't need to know where he was hiding. You don't need to know why he was hiding. You just know it was hiding, and it's okay for you to just let it like that. Okay, so that's why it's an intransitive verb. And now we have, the department store opens at 6 o'clock. You just know that that store opens at 6 o'clock. You don't need nothing else to make sense. Just with that, the sentence is making sense. Okay, so this will be at least everything with these verbs. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if Mrs. Jamiles is not making sense, that you are like, what, Missy, I don't get it, or I need more samples, or I need you to be more expressive or more direct, or I don't know, ask me, tell me, and I will make it more clear. But if you don't tell me, I will not know.
Okay, so if you got into this point, I'm done. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you want to keep going, you can, okay? Thank you.
Korea, I know it. It's hard. It got me several practice to get it. And I get you. I was there. I've been there, okay? So, but I always ask, okay? And I always did my research, and I always practice, but people, we need to practice, okay? So, this will be, at least for now, my video for this. Then I will be making another one for verb tense that that's a little bit easier, but when it gets with all this, it's a mess, it's a lot, okay? So just if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, Missy Camiles here. I will happily answer every question that you have, and I will help you. Okay, so this will be all for today. Espero que estén bien y ya saben, me preguntan, ¿ok? Kisses, bye.